Hey, I've done over 200 deals on the island of Puerto Rico worth tens of millions of dollars. And before that, I spent 20 years investing on the mainland of the United States of America, baby. In this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 mistakes that Americans make when they come to the island of Puerto Rico to invest in real estate. Mistake number 1, assuming that the process is going to be just like it is in the States, just like it is back home, right? And yes, Puerto Rico follows U.S. law, but the real estate process here is its own beast. Let me give you an example. We really don't use escrow companies like you would back in the States. So everything goes through a notary on the island, and that means attorneys. Because on the island of Puerto Rico, every notary is required to be an attorney. So closings take longer. Just the way it is, it could be 60 to 90 days on something that in the States you could get done in a week or two. And title issues, you've got to be careful of them. I've found them to be way more common. So the entire time that we've been on the island of Puerto Rico, we've seen that at every level, things will take longer. I've had people saying, I'm going to make an offer to you, a cash offer. And I'll say, okay, great. What is it? And they'll tell me their price. And I'll say, that sounds good. Send the offer over. And then all of a sudden I'm waiting, and weeks go by, and maybe even months. And I'll be asking the whole time, hey, are you going to send the offer? And I'll get back, yes, I'm going to send the offer. It's coming. It's just slower here. I think it's a cultural thing. I'm not sure why it happens. In the States, if I put something out on the MLS, I can expect to get offers fairly quickly. And as soon as someone says they're going to send me an offer, they send over a letter of intent, we agree to terms, we'll get the contract that same day. That just hasn't been the case for the last 7 years here on the island of Puerto Rico. I think I'm the only guy who buys things quickly. So when I come and I say that I'm going to buy something and I'm a cash buyer and I'll close tomorrow, I really mean it. That's what I've been doing for 20 years back home, and that's what I came to the island of Puerto Rico to do. So quick, fast cash close doesn't mean the same thing here that it does there. Even though I think I'm faster than most people, you still have to do things through the notaries. You still have to deal with sellers. And culturally, it's just island time. It's a real thing. It's just a little bit slower. It's kind of nice, but something that you need to be aware of. And most people aren't prepared for it. So the lesson is you need a lot of patience. You need a great legal team. And you shouldn't expect mainland service or speed. Mistake number 2, not understanding the culture or respecting it. This is a big one, guys. You're not just buying a property, you're entering a community. And if you act like some know-it-all outsider who's got a better way of doing things, it just isn't going to go well for you. Let me give you an example. Relationships matter more than paperwork here. Very often, things will get done on this island through who you know, not what you know. There's a dual dynamic here. So on one side, you have the fake news media preaching that the gringos are coming to town and taking advantage of the locals. And so the locals feel some kind of way about that. And they're thinking that they're being overlooked. Maybe they figure that they're going to get lowballed. As an outsider who's come to the island and done deals with locals the entire time, I actually find that I get a better deal when I partner with locals. And so that's what we've done. That's how we've grown our business. What has happened to me on multiple occasions is I'll hear that something is for sale at one price, and then I show up looking like I look, and all of a sudden the price goes up. And it doesn't just go up a little bit. We call it gringo pricing, and it's real. On one occasion, we drove 2 hours across the island to go look at a hospitality project, and the price was $1.1 million when we started the trip. It was $2.1 million when we showed up to start talking to the seller. So we didn't end up making a deal on that one. I think I did some content about it, but that was the worst gringo pricing that I've ever had. Here's the lesson. You're the outsider. You're coming in. You need to make fair offers to people. You need to treat people well. And to the extent that you do that, the island is amazing. You're going to make great friends. It's going to be awesome. Mistake number 3. This is another really big one that I see happening all of the time. That's overpaying because it seems cheap. So just because you showed up to the island and you sold your condominium in Los Angeles for $2 million and you get here and you think that something looks like just a bargain price, that doesn't mean that you need to overpay. And in fact, it's bad for the island and the islanders, the local population, when you do. So you want to be really careful. You want to look at the comps. You want to look at what it was going to rent for so that you can know that if you pay whatever it is that you're paying for it, even though it looks like a really good deal coming from wherever you're from, that you're actually getting a good deal on the island. Especially because so many people have been coming with deep pockets from places like California and New York and paying just through the nose. The locals figured that shit out pretty quick. and they just started pricing things at 2 or 3 times higher than they should actually be sold for. And so if you come here and buy that, then you're artificially boosting up the market. You're making it more expensive for the local population, and that's not good for anybody. So here's the big takeaway from this one. Run your numbers based on local rents and local sales comps, and then buy accordingly. Mistake number 4. Man, I keep saying this, but this is another big one. Thinking short-term rentals are always the answer. It seems like that everybody who comes from the States just wants to pile into this Airbnb scene. So everything that they look at, they're looking at it through the lens of, ooh, can I buy it and make it an Airbnb? So there's a whole bunch of things to unpack here, guys. Everything's not supposed to be an Airbnb, first of all. There's a housing shortage on the island of Puerto Rico, and anytime you come to the island and take something off of the market that would have otherwise housed a family, and then you start renting it out on Airbnb, you're causing more of the problem on this housing shortage. You guys, you want to be solving problems, not causing problems. This is a big one, and the island, they will push back. If you come here and you go into a working class neighborhood and you turn it into an Airbnb just because you can, even though you're probably going to find out that it wasn't the right move, it's going to piss some people off. So far, we haven't had the intrusive legislation from the government, and they're still allowing people to do the Airbnb stuff, which I think hopefully it'll stay that way. But there's an overpopulation of Airbnb properties in several towns on the island. So one that I'm familiar with, and I spoke recently about on a different video, is in Rincon. Last year at this time, there were 750 or so Airbnb properties on the market. And this year, so 1 year, year over year, there's over 1,150 Airbnb properties on the market. That's a massive increase. And so what we're seeing is the nightly rental market is going down, and it's harder to keep your occupancy rate up. And the reason is there's just too many of these things. There's more supply than there's demand for it. And again, guys, this Airbnb thing, while it sounds sexy, my experience, it's a lot more work for not all that much more money. I, as a value-add real estate investor, would much prefer to invest in long-term rentals. That income is tax-free on the island versus paying full fare on the Airbnb income. So these are just some things that you can think about when you're coming and looking at being a value-add real estate investor, or any kind of real estate investor for that matter. Is the Airbnb, it's kind of been played out a little bit. It'll probably settle down, and then it'll be a good idea again. But right now, think about solving the housing crisis. Think about creating long-term rentals. And that money, again, is tax-free. So everybody can do that, locals and you guys coming from the States. So don't let short-term rentals become a crutch. They should be used as a tool. It can be an exciting way to be a real estate investor. It shouldn't be that every real estate investment needs to be an Airbnb. Mistake number 5, thinking you can do it alone. You might be a pro real estate investor in the mainland, but Puerto Rico's different. You better have boots on the ground here. You better have some local partners, and you need to know some trusted professionals. Let me give you an example. Contractors are in high demand, and permitting can be a true nightmare. If you don't speak Spanish, you're absolutely going to have language and logistical barriers. When I came to the island of Puerto Rico, I didn't speak a lick of Spanish. I got through it in high school, 2 years of it, and really I couldn't speak a word of it. What I did know, what I was good at, was buying distressed properties, fixing them up, getting them rented out, or selling them to families. And so when I came to the island, I made a point of reaching out to local real estate investors and professionals who would treat real estate investors well. That first year that we were here, we partnered with 6 different people that we're still doing deals with today. And this was my pitch, guys. I asked people to bring me deals. I said that I was a real estate investor and that I wanted to invest on the island. Please show me some deals. I had a whole bunch of people bringing me deals, and when they did, one of the ways that I figured out if it was a good deal or not was by inviting the local guy, whether he was a realtor or a real estate investor, to go in on the deal with me and invest some of his own cash, and then I would make them a real estate investor instead of just a realtor. That worked out tremendously well. So it helped me with my language barrier problem. It helped me to know that I really was getting a good deal, because if someone's willing to put their money where their mouth is, you can usually trust that it's a pretty good deal. And the lesson here is real estate investing is a team sport. And when you come to the island, Puerto Rico, one of the smartest things you can do is partner up early. Find a local real estate investor or just a local boots on the ground that wants to learn and partner with them. Show them how it's done. So, Puerto Rico's changed my life, but it's a different game. And if you want help doing it right, join our free community called the Flip Flop Flipper, where we're breaking this stuff down every single day. And if you want to partner on some deals with me, consider checking out our premium community called Apex, where we're doing real deals with real people right here on the island of Puerto Rico. Like and subscribe, share the video. Watch this next. God bless.